Hello,
Hello.
lovely, adoring, and doting fans. We are back.
With
You're welcome.
another episode. While I'm in quarantine.
Yeah, Kate, tell us about it. What's going on with you?
So yesterday I got sent to quarantine because I have a close contact who tested positive, and I'm chilling here for the next however many days. Supposedly 2 weeks, but I'm gonna go home before then, I hope. But here's my
Yeah, give us a little tour.
land
Oh
room.
my.
All my stuff is here. I got all my.
It's
Um,
kind of like still a big room
it
though.
actually, I kind of like the single life, even though I have the single life. Anyways, even though I have nothing on the walls and it's really ugly, it's spacious, bigger than my room at home.
Oh,
Can't complain.
oh, can't complain. I was just thinking once I saw your room, I was like, if I was quarantined, like how high on my list would be taking down my wall decorations? Because I was like, would I
I literally wanted to so bad, like.
I feel like it's something that's like so like insignificant or stupid feeling, but then you do it and you feel so like comfortable and at home.
Yeah, like even if I had like my one like Elliott Smith poster on the wall, I would just
It would just be comforting.
comforted. But it's okay. Um, that's it's a little life update. In quarantine, just painted my nails.
You, I was gonna say you have Hufflepuff colors.
Hey.
It's so annoying that the Harry Potter franchise has infiltrated my brain so much that I see yellow and black and I will be, I think, Hufflepuff.
I have not
Disgusting.
gotten to that point yet, so
I don't know why, because like I liked the books when I was a kid, but I didn't like them that much to like
yeah,
have
right.
be so focused on it.
Oh,
But
also,
all the tiny anarchy studs, we love them. Did you see she dropped the mini she devil?
yeah, I was
That
like,
was very cute.
I have
I think
those.
I think iGirl needs to make more jewelry
Mm-hmm.
and headbands. I think that's her forte.
Mm-hmm.
They should stay away from clothes because all the clothes she's made so far I don't really like.
I don't either. I
I,
like the little baby tees that she had that were like the Halloween themed ones, but
I
not
like
enough.
maybe,
I didn't
but
like the back of them.
the graphics are the shirts she makes look cheap, and they look like I'd like them if I found them in the thrift store after someone had already broken them in.
That's fair.
When I saw them. But like it's like when Urban Outfitters or other places try to create clothes that look like thrifted clothes,
Yeah.
and it's just like, okay, now you're just making stuff that looks like shit. Like,
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing ever.
yeah, it's like why don't you just make something that's like better quality and like more unique? Like, for example, I saw this girl that I interviewed for my magazine a couple of months ago who creates these shirts that
Oh,
have
yeah,
like,
I remember.
yeah, it's her name is Maddie Page, and she has like a contrast stitch. That's her whole thing, and she does these like heart cutouts, and then
Hmm.
she like cuts a smaller piece of fabric to be the heart in the middle, and she like does all these safety pins. It's very like neo punk. I love it. I think it's so
Yeah.
creative,
Yeah.
and I think iGirl has like the potential to do something. Sorry, I'm literally
Yeah.
always thinking about this.
We're going on another iGirl tangent. It's fine.
I know. The listeners want it.
Hmm.
They're begging.
Hmm.
But I think iGirl needs to like delve into the kind of style that she's created with her like hardware, and she should create
Yeah.
more belts and more stuff like that, where it's just like cool jewelry that is affordable. Like,
Yeah, I feel like the clothes don't match the jewelry style.
mm-mm. Like if I wore her clothes, like the stuff she thrifts is nice and everything, and I get that she makes a lot of money, but I know that she's not selling her clothes. Like
Yeah.
she's not selling them quickly because every time you go to her website, all of the clothes are in stock, all her jewelry sold out.
Hmm.
Which means she needs to make more jewelry.
Yeah.
Needs to.
Tell her. Let's send her an email.
I'll let her know.
Yo,
Only because
Bella,
I'm feeling
listen up.
generous. Yo, Bella, I'm gonna give you a piece of. It's like that
No, Bella,
Donald.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
But wait, did you ever watch the Taylor Swift documentary, Miss Americana?
Yeah, it was good.
Why did I like it? I feel
I
like
really liked it.
I I have mixed feelings because I know it was propaganda. Like my brain knows that like you can alter things like that, and that like of course she looks good in a movie that's made to make her look good. But I was like, oh, she's so like nice. She's just like me.
Yeah.
It's
No, but
like
I
just
genuinely like
her.
her. Yeah. And like I genuinely like her and I liked her for a while and then I stopped liking her for no reason. And then I started liking her again after that because I realized I can't be a hater for no reason.
Yeah, you can't you can't be a hater for a good reason though, which is why I hate Bella's clothes.
I hate what?
Why I hate Bella's clothes. But
Rude.
I went through a very I vehemently hated um, Taylor Swift outwardly. Obviously, at my
Yeah, I remember you talking about that actually.
I'll tell the story.
Okay.
But I remember, you know, the Scholastic book fairs that would come into town.
Mm-hmm.
I had like I like scrounged up a couple dollars, and I remember I used to talk so much shit on Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber just because they were popular, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't like the
I don't
you
want
know,
to get the mainstream
I'm not a girly girl. Like
Yeah.
I don't like music. I listen to the sound of like fucking rocks and mud. um, I remember I like saved up my money and secretly bought the CDs for Justin Bieber's album and for Taylor Swift's,
Oh
and
my
then
god.
I hid them and I like never listened to them. And I like went through the pamphlets and I was like, whoa. But I wanted to like appear cool so bad. So
Yeah.
when my peers would be talking about like Taylor Swift, like I was at a birthday party and everyone was like, we love Taylor, like Taylor's queen, she's so awesome, she's she's so powerful and cool, and she's so fun. And I was just like, I hope Taylor Swift dies.
I'm like,
everyone everyone was like, what the fuck, like you can't just say shit like that, like if she dies it's your fault. And I literally lived with this guilt. I had this like feeling in my mind that if Taylor Swift died within that week, that it would be my fault. Like I lived with this guilt for the whole week, and I was just like, I can't have this on my conscience. Like Taylor, stick with me. I didn't mean it. Like,
Taylor.
and ever since then, I haven't said a bad word about her.
As you should.
Because I'm scared I'm gonna kill her.
I'm gonna kill Taylor.
I don't want to. I don't want to be
I want to
responsible.
break my bones.
But anyways, this week, since Kate was in Quar, I was like, Kate, you should watch my favorite movie of all time, which is Blade Runner 2049.
Which we have mentioned before on the podcast. Might I add. And I watched it.
True fans would have noticed that.
Yep.
Kate,
it's okay.
Give us all of your initial thoughts and I'll respond.
Okay. I
Just
Ryan Gosling. What else?
This is cool. Did you like the aesthetics at all, or any clothing?
Yeah, I did. It reminded me of remember when we were talking about that architecture style? What was it called?
Brutalism?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a lot of like the brutalism architecture.
Yep.
I was like, oh, and I'm surprised it took me this long to watch it because I really like dystopian like worlds and stuff. And like, I mean, I guess I could technically consider like a fake fan. I like dystopian novels. I haven't really watched like a lot of dystopian movies, but it's really cool. You know what? My first thought was, why does every futuristic society think that flying things like flying cars are gonna be a thing? I don't get it.
I think
it's like hovering. It's not like flying. Like you know, it's like hovering.
To be fair, Blade Runner 2049 was like, I'm pretty sure it's based on a book that was written quite a while ago. So it was in that wave of like, like Back to the Future mindset where we thought that by like 2020 we'd have flying cars.
Okay.
So I'll cut them slack to that, because if you watch the original movie, I think it like gives more perspective into when it was actually like written.
And I'm trying to think of, so 2049 is what, in 30 years? What was 30 years ago? 1990?
Yeah. 1990, we got the internet.
Yeah, I just can't imagine thinking like, oh, like in 30 years, like I mean, I guess it technically wasn't the author wasn't thinking like 30 years, or thinking more like
Mhm.
70 or something.
Yeah,
But still,
exactly.
like where we are right now, no way we're gonna have that shit in 30 years.
Well, yeah, but I think that's because we've gained a lot of like I mean, never say never though, because I don't think it's impossible for us to like not have these things.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
the priorities are just elsewhere right now, and also we've stopped like humanity is kind of plateaued. So all of these like old novel writers were in the mindset that we were going to keep accelerating and creating cool
yeah,
stuff, and we've literally stalled since the
we
internet.
actually have, yeah.
Like, name one cool
Oh,
thing that since
true. Since the internet,
since the internet, everything went downhill. We got a bunch of soy boys now. Like,
I
nothing's happening.
never even thought about that. I guess I just thought like the internet, like we've been building off of the internet, but the internet's been like the first thing that's literally been like created like out of like thin air. That like
Yeah,
or the most like recent huge thing, you know what I mean?
yeah. We have the internet. We have the like individual cell phones. Um,
I feel like there's
and
something else.
there's like other like minor things that have come with that. Like, I don't know, like nicer cameras and stuff like that.
Like yeah. Like
But
driverless
nothing
cars.
major, which I do think is strange. Like, I do think it's completely reasonable to expect that we like would have gone forward with our technology
Yeah.
rather than stalling. But it's because we have so many people on the planet and we just have to work to accommodate them rather than making everybody's lives cooler because
Yeah.
we have the technology that we deserve. So,
Yeah, I mean some of the technology in it I definitely think is um attainable. Like I feel like that
mhm.
like holograms,
Mhm.
like the
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
her name, Joy? I feel like that shit could happen. I feel like
Uh,
that shit probably already is happening.
that
Um
should that is the future. I'll send you an article if you want to read it that Ben sent me a while ago that was like talking about how the inevitable future of this like the way we're moving with the internet and technology right now
mhm.
is going to be creating like holographic sex robots
Yeah.
which I literally have no trouble believing, and I feel like the stuff in Blade Runner 2049 is like correct conclusions.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like everything isn't too far-fetched. I'm
No, it
like,
definitely feels close to comfort. Like and also
mm,
like I what stood out to me kind of was like how I don't know how to explain this, but like how like all of his like everyday things, like making food and taking a shower, was like it was super efficient. Like everything is meant to be
mm,
like you don't spend a lot of time eating, you don't spend a lot of time washing your towel. Like you do this all like when he got that slice in his arm and he like legit glued it together and it was fine. Like it just healed. Like that shit is so cool. Um, and I think it's cool to think about like a society where we aren't so like focused on like I think we're so focused on like our food and like you know what I mean, like making all these elaborate
well,
like I don't know where
yeah,
you
I
find
would be careful with trying to push us in the direction where we're becoming more efficient as a whole.
yeah
Because you look at, like Japan's homes and yeah, they're efficient and yeah, you can fold up your bed and use it as a dinner table and have 6 feet of storage in the wall and it only looks like 2 feet, like
yeah
you can compress your life and make it easier to fill with more work. But I think that's very sad and
so I
empty.
don't yeah I don't know, I don't think I would want that, but I think it's cool to see
It
like
makes
that's
it.
what
I think
people
it makes sense as like where we are right now
yeah
progressing because it makes total sense to me that capitalism is going to convince us to like work for its needs,
hmm
um, and it's going to make us as efficient as possible and have as little alone time as possible, or peaceful time.
yeah
And I have no trouble believing that. But I value my showers and I
I
love
know.
eating.
I was like, when I was watching it, the scene, I was like, I don't like that though. Like, I like,
Nothing, yeah, nothing's comfy in this movie. Like nothing is
yeah,
comfy.
that's a good way to describe. I never felt like, yeah, and I never felt
Comfortable.
I want to be that person. Like, I want to live this in
Right.
society. And when they talked about like the blackout, like that just like fucking freaked me out. Like, I was like, this is something that could totally happen. I was
Yeah,
just, you know,
MP's
in
been
those,
a threat for quite a while. Have you ever read I read this book about an EMP, like what an EMP would look like in America when I was in like sixth
What does that stand for again?
electromagnetic pulse.
Okay.
So it'd basically be like if someone came into our little atmosphere and detonated something that caused like a blackout for either a certain area or for a very large area. From my very rudimentary understanding of it. And I remember reading this book about it, and they were like, we can't use cars, like we can't get like our medicine, like we can't do any of this shit, like we're so hindered by how much we rely on all these things that have made us more efficient.
Yeah.
Like and we really can't do things for ourselves anymore.
Yeah.
And that's so scary to me. Like that's why I'd rather like live on a farm.
Exactly. There's this YouTuber I watch, and she's like, if it ever came down to it, like I'm living, because she moved from like LA to Oregon, and she like lives on a farm, and she's trying to like start a garden and like really start a garden, not just like a fucking like 2x2 like plot of land.
Yeah, like a whole year long.
Yeah. And she's like, because I want, if it comes to it, like if the apocalypse happens, if anything happens, like I want to be able to self-sustain and be able to provide for my family and my neighbors and blah 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 blah. Like, and it's just like this shit could happen literally any minute. Like anything can happen. You don't know. And now I'm scared and I'm dependent on the technology so much, but it's like terrible.
And because we're taught to be dependent on technology, because our school system has failed us in many ways, but I think one of the biggest ways it has failed us is by encouraging us to use technology.
Yeah.
The fact that I have to bring my laptop to school, the fact that it hurts my hand when I write more than 2 pages is pathetic.
I know.
And I would not blame my ancestors for literally spitting on me.
Bro, I know. It's literally and like I don't know, another small thing is like they don't even teach cursive anymore. Like that makes me so sad.
That's so weird to me, because I feel like I don't know if it's the hill I would die on, but it's just, it looks better. So
it does.
I don't see a point not to. I write in it, so
yeah.
I guess that's, I don't know. I'm gonna teach my kids cursive.
Yeah, that's just a little thing. They teach them typing instead, but I learned both, so.
Yeah, so kids these days fucking stupid is what I'm hearing. But it's very interesting that we like, I don't know, it also teaches us to like just get happiness in low doses, like very little serotonin constantly.
Yeah.
And never have like real boosts. And I don't know, I think Blade Runner is one of the best warnings you could possibly have, where it's like you can see exactly how we got to that point, or you can see like the track that we're on to that point, and you can feel like shivers go down your spine, and you're like, how did this happen? And you're like, oh, it makes perfect sense, like I'm part of the problem. like this is so easy to imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the aesthetics are fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was like my like all of my thoughts about like just like the idea of it, like the aesthetics. Like it was really pretty, and like there was one shot where someone was, you know, that room where there's the water and then there's a stair and then there's like the tiles that you like walk over. There was one shot of like someone walking over those tiles with heels, and for some reason that just stuck in my head. Like it just was so like the sound and like the image of like, oh, it was just so satisfying.
There's so many, like the way that this movie worms its way into my head and just lives there all the time is ridiculous. Like for some reason it felt like until I saw this movie that I hadn't seen the colors that were in the movie. Like I was like, wow, I haven't seen orange until now. Like I haven't really noticed.
Bro, like, seeing that's just orange. Like I've never seen that before. You've never seen like the whole thing.
And it's like you can see how like, oh, also, sorry, this is also very spoiler inclusive if we can fucking think about what happened in the movie. Because it's so hard to follow. I've watched it multiple times and I know I'm not catching everything, but you know, when he goes to the house at the end and they're playing that, I think it's a Frank Sinatra song.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's 1:45, and he's like, just like all of the music fitting with the aesthetic is so perfect.
Yeah,
Like
it was cool.
I've never had a movie like mess with my brain as
Yeah.
much.
And the
I
only
didn't.
yeah, and really like the only music they played was like weird soundtrack stuff with like the grrr, like that type of like sound effect, but then also like Frank Sinatra. And I was just like, this is such a weird music choice, but it worked.
It works perfectly
Worked.
because it's like I'm sure like what led me to the original conclusion that I wanted to like start a magazine is because I was like, I want to start a blog where I do movie reviews. And then I was like, the only movie I want to review is Blade Runner.
Blade Runner Review Part 27.
Yeah, literally like Blade Runner and the human condition and like what this means for us. And then I was like, oh, okay, like I can't just do movie reviews. But I literally, there's so much on my mind constantly about this movie, just like how well it's done as a movie
Mhm.
and what it means and how like well acted it was.
Yeah.
And it literally flopped in movie theaters.
I know. I was thinking about that during the last watching. I was like, did it really flop?
It did. Like, isn't it one of the most beautiful things? I don't know if you resonated with it as much, but the aesthetics of this movie literally made me appreciate brutalism, which
Yeah.
has never
Well,
happened before.
the one building where he goes up to the guy and it's
Oh,
just like there's just a line. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
mhm.
And he asks him for like the old DNA, but it's literally just like one window that goes across like the whole. That was so cool. I literally was like,
Yep.
I thought of you when I saw that scene. I was like, Alexia.
I literally, I need to rewatch it for inspo for my final, for my architecture final,
Real.
because I have to do a modernist building. But
Mm.
I just, I think there's so much to be dissected about it. Like you can tell that so much thought went into it,
Yeah.
and it was just done so well. Like the old music and the like flashbacks and all of these
Yeah.
things. Like if you watch it again, you're gonna pick up more. And if
Yeah.
you watch,
I definitely need to watch it again, and I think that it might strike a different chord. But
how
overall,
did
first impression, I liked it.
how did you feel when it was over? Like what did you take away from it?
I forgot how it ends.
It ends with them like fighting that girl in the water.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I hated that bitch. It was so annoying.
But that end scene is like it reminds me of
Yeah.
that one scene in Hunger Games where they play that hanging tree remix and they're like storming the castle.
Yeah.
That's what the thing scene reminds me of.
Yeah. I don't know. When I finished it, I was just like, I need to watch this again. Like I need to like watch something about it or like a blog, like review it or like something to talk like explains more of it. Even though I don't usually like to like I like to like let myself understand it and watch it, but like I also sometimes need like
This
someone to
is
tell me what I need to hear.
the thing where I had to like go on a bunch of blogs and read more about it, and it didn't give me too much clarity,
Okay.
which is cool because then your brain can fill in more blanks.
Yeah.
But I think the answer is truly watching it a few times because like this is the type of movie that's so dense that you don't really get bored of it because you will notice more things
Yeah.
and you will appreciate other things this time, you know.
Yes.
I also love the I think the clothing is so fucking cool. Like remember that one like when he's like outside and like at the tables and the prostitute comes up to him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like just how everybody in the background looked and just
Yeah.
oh and the advertisement.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
When and like when yeah, like you're talking about the Joy advertisement. Yes.
Yeah. I I did this thing a while ago. I did this thing as if it was a big task. I went on. I like recorded I screen recorded a bunch of movie scenes and set them to songs on my story a while ago.
Did a thing.
I I did something, and I thought it was like I like spent 3 hours doing it, and I did like 10 of them, and I did that scene in Blade Runner with the song "Touch" by Daft Punk, and
Mm-hmm.
it looks like she's saying the words in it, and I literally was like, Wow.
I think I remember commenting on it, be like, what movie is this? And you were like, Blade Runner 2049, and this is the millionth time I'm supposed to watch it. Like,
I feel like I recommend it, but I really like I understand when people get recommended movies and don't watch them because I'm so bad about when people tell me to do things, it's just so much harder for me to
I
get
need to
around.
do it. I need to feel like, and like, I need, yeah. I need to
I
do myself.
I feel like I just I don't know, when people say they like things sometimes it like makes me wary. I'm like,
Especially with someone I'm like, I don't really like their style. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna watch that.
yeah, exactly. I think this movie just so inspiring. I remember I painted something immediately after seeing it last year. Maybe I should paint something again. I feel like that'd be a cool comparison.
Yeah.
Um, I also have some other little questions lined up to get the party started.
Hit me.
Okay. Oh, okay. This is a cool one. Kind of relevant. If you could use a time machine, would you rather have one that only goes back in time or only goes forward in time?
Oh, not forward. I just watched The Umbrella Academy and
Okay.
went forward in time, and it was literally a fucking wasteland. And I feel like that would happen. I feel like the world's just gonna end so soon that I would rather go back and see.
What do you think is gonna end the world?
Um, I don't know. I feel like we'll just catch on fire and burn to the ground or something.
Just one match in the air is all it takes for this thing to blow.
I don't know. I literally feel like it's gonna be like global warming or something. I don't know.
Do you think that global warming is gonna get us before something else does, or do you think we'll outlive both of them, but it'll just be really shitty?
I think we're gonna outlive whatever it is, but what do you think like could be another thing?
Well, I know there's a lot of like constant possibilities of things that could happen, like get hit by something in fucking
That's
space.
what I was thinking too, yeah.
We could have like Mount St. Helen blow her top off or something and have a little white Christmas. Or we could have an EMP or we could have a nuclear war. But I feel like we have these like I don't know, the world has always been able to end.
Yeah.
But I feel like just because of our like socio-political climate now that we feel especially doomsday y.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like I'm not even sure if it'd be like a type of like apocalypse type thing either. Like I like what if there's so many movies that just are so anxiety inducing, but at the same time, like it's kind of reassuring to think like our world is still like gonna go on even without us. So like
I feel like we're going to just adapt to whatever it is because I don't know. I think rich people especially will be totally fine.
yeah.
I
don't know.
I feel like
what would you do?
I wouldn't be surprised if the world started deteriorating in quality and we saw the death of capitalism in a way, the rise of something similar, and I don't know. I think it would be interesting if we had a nuclear war because leave us in a wasteland. I don't know. So much could happen.
Would you want to go back in time or forward in time?
I feel like I would go back, but I don't know. I don't want to time travel.
I don't either.
Because I like things how they are right now. And if I went back in time, I would be a real time traveler. Like I would really I'd go before I was born, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd have a lot of trouble because I would just be like, I don't know. I enjoy my tethers to life, like my relationships that I have right now and the whole life setup I have right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be that interested in going back unless I could bring all my friends.
In the Umbrella Academy in like the second season, like they all go back in time and they're like forced to like adapt to their life and they're all there for like different amounts of time. It's kind of like a dweeby show, but like it was really cool. Like it was really cool to like it got me thinking about stuff like that. So if you haven't seen it, I know you don't like recommendations, but
I watched A little bit of it actually. When it first came out, I watched like. Sorry, I'm moving around. I look so silly.
It's orange, like later.
Sorry guys, just got back from the Bahamas. I feel like I started watching it and it was just the type of show where I was like I don't know, but I did watch Queen's Gambit.
Oh, I have to watch that.
You
Recommend?
really should, because I recommend that one. I watched it in like one day. It was super easy.
Cool.
And it literally, you know, when you leave a movie theater and you have that feeling where you're like
Yeah,
I'm a character now, or you just like you have like a new like personality.
yeah.
I felt like I watched the show and I felt like a prodigy after. I was like, yeah.
Okay. I'll
Like,
take a look.
you feel so smart after because you're like
Yes.
because the main character is just a total badass.
Yeah.
It's a really good show.
Okay.
And I don't really know that much about chess, but I can play it, but I don't know enough to like understand everything we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm not a chess gal, so
I like shows about prodigies because it's been so long since we've had like a prodigy / hero, you know.
yeah.
That's been really in the public eye.
Okay.
So it's cool to hear a story like that, even if it's fake. Okay, let me. Ooh, if you were an inanimate object, what would you be and why?
I don't know.
I'd be a little flower vase.
Aw. Wait, does a
I'd be
tree count?
Huh?
Does a tree count?
Tree is alive.
Yeah, that's why I
So
was
it's
okay.
you could be like a leaf that's already fallen off, though, I guess. Or like you could be like a drawing of a tree.
No, this is all wrong. Let me think.
I'd be my Panic at the Disco T-shirt.
That'd be my guitar. I'd be the bass string on my guitar.
I'd be Elliott Smith's dorm room.
I don't know. I'd be like a
I feel like you'd be a ring.
I was gonna say I'd be a ring with a gem in it.
Yeah, you would.
Cool.
I'd be like, this is Kate. This is my friend Kate.
And I'd be putting out all this energy with my stones powers.
It's very Voldemort of you. Again, Harry Potter. That's disgusting. I'm not like this usually. Okay, where do you wish you had grown up?
I don't know. Maybe somewhere. I mean, I kind of like where I grew up. I was gonna say maybe somewhere with more diversity or something, or just like in like a city or something where
I feel like you would have
more things firsthand.
I feel like you would have been really cool if you had grown up in New York, but you didn't. So now you're a fucking loser.
No. What about you?
I feel like I would grow up in some cool, rich European country where I would bilingual or trilingual.
Yeah, I could see you in like Spain.
I think, well, that's because
orange lighting.
That's because I'm Spanish Basque, baby. The like lines on me. I don't think I would ever grow up somewhere. I would never grow up somewhere that was warm, somewhere without 4 seasons, because so much of my personality was tied to like winter sports when I was a kid. So I feel like I'd have to grow up somewhere that had winter or never not winter.
Fair.
Okay, let's see. Oh my god, what was the most recent thing that made you cry?
Being sent into quarantine. And getting my semester cut short because everything I've been working towards this semester I can't do anymore, but it's fine.
It's fine. What
about you?
I also COVID related. Found out that 16 people at my school are in quarantine, and that my not so secret fear is that I'm gonna get kicked out of my school and have nowhere to live. Really made me cry the other day. And I was like, I need an apartment. So that was pretty cool.
That was pretty fun.
That was really cool for us. Okay. What single event or decision do you think most affected the rest of your life?
Oh.
I feel like me coming to Milton.
Okay. I mean,
Oh.
They don't know which Milton. It's okay.
Milton, Georgia.
I'd say like I don't want to sound dweeby, but like
playing guitar.
Yeah. like taking guitar lessons, I guess. I don't know that.
I think that makes sense though, because it really did like shape your friends and personality in a big way.
I think it's just on a different path in life. Like before that, I just would have been doing sports in high school and like.
That would have been so weird.
It's a different person.
If you had just been like playing tennis the whole high school career.
Tennis and volleyball.
That's so strange to think of. Okay. Sorry, I didn't pre-write out the questions. I'm scanning down a list.
Okay.
Ooh. What character from a TV show or book do you most identify with?
Do I most identify with?
Mm-hmm. Who are you?
Oh God. Elizabeth Darcy. Wait.
Really?
Is that her name? Elizabeth Bennet. Wait.
Yeah, it's Bennet and then it's Darcy, isn't it?
Oh. Forgive me. And that's not actually who I would want to be.
I think
Mr. Darcy. That's embarrassing. I don't want anyone to see that. Fuck that up.
Well, I can't cut any of this out. I can't edit.
I can't edit your mistakes. It's okay.
It's fine.
Whatever.
That's what our viewers love about us. Okay, first of all, who's listening to this podcast also? Because
true. Us.
We've had views on every single one, and we're 2 of them. Don't get us wrong, but we're not 27 of them.
So if you watch the podcast, if you watch to this point, comment
your favorite emoji and then type your full name letter by letter without being interrupted. And you're from. If it's Brazil, I'm coming there soon.
Word. Okay. What character would you identify with? I don't know. I can't think of one.
I think I identified a lot with Annabeth Chase when I was a kid.
Okay.
And now I identify with I think I identify with Henry from Picture of Dorian Gray a little bit.
You need to read that.
You do. I have to write. Time for me to complain about my homework. I have to write like 5-page paper on it, but I read it 2 years ago now, and it's one of my favorite books. I really liked it, but I don't want to write a 5-page paper on it. I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
But Henry's just this character who kind of like says all of this bullshit, and he's just like making it up as he goes. He's like, yeah, like if someone ever wants to be young, all they have to do is make the same mistakes again. And everyone's like, yo, word, Henry? Like, wow. And then he just like keeps saying all this bullshit, and everyone's like, wait a minute, like, Henry, you're fucking stupid. Like, shut up.
Stop, Henry, stop.
Henry, shut the fuck up. And I feel like that's me. I feel like I make a lot of like broad statements.
Okay.
So I think that's what my final answer, but it can be from a movie too.
It's so hard. I can't think of my.
I feel like we need time to think about these questions beforehand.
No, I gotta like look at my favorite movies. Hold on. Not that I'm gonna identify with a character in one of my favorite movies, but.
Oh my god, you're gonna. I identify with the dad from Lady Bird.
Oh my god, I identify with Lady Bird herself.
Yeah, I identify with the dog from Dog with a Blog.
Ew.
Uh,
Weirdo.
shut up. You don't get it.
You don't fucking get it.
I'm
I
Stan.
identify with Will Hunting.
Oh, really?
No.
You're shaking your head, but I feel like you kind of meant that.
He was the first character I saw on my list. But
If you
maybe.
meant that, I'll support you, but if you didn't mean that, I'll also support that.
I mean, I guess I have to think about it.
I have to
I don't
consider.
know. I don't know because maybe I do. He like forces his feelings down. Like he doesn't feel anything. And I feel like I feel a lot of things, but I don't like to
Express them.
like I'll express them, but I won't express them in the way I need to. You know what I mean? Like I'll express them in the wrong ways. Or I'll just ignore the really important things that I shouldn't be pushing down. But I do. But I don't know. Maybe that's not Will Hunting.
Maybe that's just my demons.
Maybe that's my demons coming out.
Sorry, guys, my demons started talking.
I'm wondering if someone from Eternal
I
Sunshine.
it was my demons that typed at the message. Okay, we can move on if
Yeah,
that
was hard. I don't know.
Yeah, if you have an answer later, surprise us.
Okay.
What is the closest you've ever come to dying? I'm trying to think about it.
God, I almost got hit by a car. Straight up. Okay, I'll tell story time.
Great time.
I was sophomore year of high school. I was walking home and I was at this 5-section intersection. Okay. So it's a big intersection. And I was waiting on one side of the road to cross to like the middle divider that then crossed to the other side of the road. Okay. So I'm standing and I'm just waiting for the traffic in front of me, the light to turn red so I can cross. And it had just started raining, so prime hydroplaning weather. Okay, I'm standing there, and out of the corner of my eye, a truck hydroplanes onto the sidewalk, literally right next to me, is actually like probably 5 feet away from me. And I just was like, I literally just saw this truck coming right at me. So I just start crossing the road, even though it's not a red light. Like there are people there, like, like they're like, I'm gonna get hit by this car. I'm gonna get hit by a car in the middle of the road. I don't care. And it literally just once it gets on the curb and once I get into the road, like I'm just staring at it. Like I just start laughing. I like hysterically laughing because I was like, holy fuck, what? And then it just drives onto the sidewalk and turns and drives like onto like another road, like another part of the intersection. Like it just literally drives on the sidewalk and doesn't do anything. It doesn't acknowledge anything. He just freaks out and drives. And I'm literally like walking through like in the middle of the road, like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like just I almost just died. It was terrifying.
Was that by the middle school?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, which part?
Yeah.
And I know that fucking middle school.
Yeah.
That's where some bitch named Kate would die. I feel like I've had a lot of instances where I've avoided death by like 15 minutes, so I don't even know that I've avoided death.
Okay, that's a good.
Let me think.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there's another one.
I feel like there's times where I thought I was going to die, but I was just being dramatic. Like one time when I was a kid, I was in I was in this mall in Spokane, Washington, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And had all of these like escalators that crisscrossed up like 6 levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I was top one like going up with my grandpa Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided it would be a really good time to like, because I was like 6 years old, so he like picked me up and held me over it. So I was like fully just like hanging out there, and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like,
put me down.
I was like, what the fuck? And I started like crying.
God,
yo, chill. Like,
he literally Lion King you.
And I was like, oh, what? Like, I'm not like traumatized or like I do think it's funny, but I literally thought I was gonna die.
He Lion Kinged your ass over the side of the escalators.
And I really thought I was like, Alexia Angelone ends today. Like, this is it for me. I don't know. I feel like I definitely have some story with a near-death experience. I'm
trying to think, like, getting hit by a car. Have I ever like had someone like hold a weapon to me? No.
No.
I feel like I feel like at school, something happened where I just started awkwardly laughing because I almost like died, but I can't remember what it was.
Hmm. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna stick with my 15 minutes answer because I feel like I have been in a lot of near death situations,
Yeah.
but I barely miss them. Like in cars, especially, I feel like I've gotten really, really close to like getting in really bad car accidents, and I've
Mm.
barely missed them. Or I've been a passenger in a car. Like Robert almost literally killed me one time. I don't know if he remembers. But it's fine because we went to. He took me to Dunkin' before this.
Okay.
I would have
You would
eaten
have
out.
died with a stomach full of dunks.
Yeah, because so Robert was giving me a ride to school, like last year, and he was like turning onto the road to the high school,
Mm-hmm.
but he just like didn't look before turning. So he like starts like slow turning, like not a care in the world, and I literally am like, and the car like comes, literally like they like barely swerve the car, and they like honk, and they're like all pissed off, and they're like oh my god, like we almost got hit by that car, and he was like, was that person on acid? And I was like, are you on acid? I was like, you almost got us killed.
Love you,
I
Robert. Love you if you're one of our viewers, but you almost
Let me know if you remember the time I was literally ending my life. I would have been like, I've kind of accepted death.
yeah.
I don't want it. I am not welcoming it in any way, but like,
Yeah.
it's my time, it's my time, you know?
Sure.
Okay. Uh, what's your least popular or most controversial opinion? Get canceled right now. Do it.
My first gut reaction was I don't I just bite into string cheese. I don't think that you need to peel it. Same with Kit Kats.
I've done the same thing.
Okay.
I think I get really annoyed when people like get
I'm
mad at
annoyed
other
about
people.
that. I'm like, can you shut the fuck up? Like, is your life really this like simple that you have to get mad
Yeah,
at for doing this?
our gym teacher last year when she was really cool. Don't get me wrong. Well, sometimes, except for she like hated us for some reason.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I forgot we were in the same gym class.
yeah, the real gym class heroes. Please stand up. But I remember she like took us out into like the schoolyard one day and was like the schoolyard. I don't know what to call it though. Like the lawns one day and was like, stand here if you like Chipotle's burrito bowl more, or if you like their burrito more, or if you get like this rice or this rice. And she was like, how do you like the burrito bowl more? They're just stupid. And I was like, what's going on? Like, who are you getting paid by? Like, she was using all these like fast food restaurants. I was like, first of all, you're a gym teacher.
That
Second
was
of
the
all,
weirdest class ever.
it was so weird because I was just like, why do people decide to like let their like preference of how they consume their like shitty processed food like disrupt anybody's day? Or when people act like overly surprised about stuff, I always get so annoyed. I'm like, I know it's not that big of a deal to either of us, so why are you acting like me like doing something a certain way is like the end of the world for you?
Yeah, for real.
Like I had a teacher who got really mad at me because I was like making paper, like I was making something in origami in class, and she was like, "What are you doing? Like, are you listening?" And I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "You can't listen and do that." And it's just like, I hate how people just fucking
Mhm.
like step in when it's not necessary for anybody to step in. It's like, is it actually affecting you at all? No. Okay,
True.
let's move on. Okay. If you could, hmm, what have you been meaning to do but haven't yet done? And why haven't
Oh.
you done?
Um, hmm. I don't know. Everything. So many.
Everything. I feel like I've been meaning to I want to create a graphic novel and I've started writing it out, and I want it to be a choose your own adventure. And then there's just so many other things that I want to do that I just like don't have this like money or time or space to do yet. I really want to one thing I really want to do is start tufting rugs.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get into rug making.
That's cool.
I also want to get something that I want to do is haute couture.
Yeah.
In my free time, I'm going to create a collection.
Okay.
When I'm older.
The only thing I can think about is like I want to start saving up for
True.
more guitar stuff, and like I'm trying to start like a little at-home studio. So I've been researching. I'm looking into like the different microphones and interfaces and all the shit. And I actually am finally starting to do it. But the thing that usually when I have an idea like this that keeps me from doing it is like doing the research and trying to find everything, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm just like, I don't feel like doing that right now, so I'll do that later. And I never get to. But this is different. I started.
Wait, hold on. Can you pause real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Action. We're back. It's like we never. You'll never know what just happened. You'll never know. If you paid us $1 million, we'd tell you, but you had to pay us $1 million.
You should have done like that TikTok transition where like,
oh yeah.
Want to try it?
Yeah, let's do it. Wait, hold on. Snap. 1, 2, 3. Literally, I'm fucking gone.
Wow.
I'm excited for that playback. So I thought about something in our little break period, which was 2 hours long, by the way. You'll really never know what has happened.
Yeah.
But I thought about in our little break period how a dear friend, a dear high school peer of ours contacted me recently asking me to be on her podcast. Mary Kate Fox, queen, literal beautiful, kind queen.
I know she had a podcast. I don't listen.
She's doing it for her like final project. I don't think it's something she does often, but I think the like vague thing she wanted. I don't remember exactly what it was I was supposed to talk about, but it's supposed to be about like toxic femininity and social media and just like all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got my noggin jogging because she was like, oh, I thought of you because of your magazine and like how empowering it is and all of these things. And I thought, well, yeah, no, I love her. If you're listening or if you know it, Mary Kay Fox, kindest human alive, nicest girl ever.
Daddy.
Daddy, yeah. And I have just been really turning over my head my thoughts on feminism, which are honestly negative, but I can explain.
What?
Here's why. Because I think feminism has kind of warped into something that is less understandable. Like feminism has warped into kind of like a liberal idea, or it's kind of taken the form of something that includes a lot of like censorship or includes a lot of like performativeness or kind of like the girl boss thing where it's like we need women in comedy and we need women in all of these positions that women are already in, you know. And it's like not difficult for women in America to get into those positions. In some cases it is, but I feel like the fight is being fought in ways that aren't really relevant right now. There are relevant points to feminism, and I do believe there are brilliant women who deserve just as much respect as men. Don't ever get me twisted on that. I think women are amazing, superior gender, have agency, have class, have amazing power over society. But I think feminism has devolved into something where it's like a cop out, where it's like the Me Too movement, where it almost becomes this thing where it kind of like doesn't acknowledge how powerful women are, you know? or the fact that like the original feminist movement was about like power. It was about the fact that women wanted power and they like exuded it and they were going to fight to get it. And right now it's about weakness. It's because we're in this kind of like age period where people are like proud or they pretend to be mentally ill. Mm, hold on though. I think the normalization of mental illness or like normalization of therapy, totally fine. But I think there is a case to be made for people like on social media pretending to have mental illnesses or it becoming trendy in ways. Not to blame people who do have like
Like self-diagnosed.
yeah, self-diagnosis or
Yeah.
like the Tumblr like era where it's like cool to be depressed.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a real thing. And that's kind of undeniable, I feel
Yeah,
like.
it's not a healthy thing, obviously. Yeah.
Where we kind of like we advertise our weaknesses before we advertise our power as women and as like our generation. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's not what it's all about. Like what it's all about is the fact that we're like supremely powerful and you have to like recognize that.
I think oh wait,
But
I'll go when you're done.
I I understand how that's controversial because I was thinking about what my controversial opinion was, which is that. And it's not that I don't think women deserve equality. I think women deserve just as much as men do. If they are competent enough for any position, they deserve it. If you're competent enough for something, if you're prepared enough for something, you deserve it.
Yeah.
Um, I just think it's devolved into something that doesn't fight for that.
I think okay. Okay. I don't know if I fully agree. I mean, I understand everything.
You don't have to.
No,
You
no.
don't have
I think that in the end of the day, like the idea of feminism and like being a feminist has gone awry. And I
it was about equality and now it's
and I
about
think people now when they think oh like you're a feminist, blah, 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 they think of like what you were saying, like it's a bad thing. But I think that like we need to just like recenter the definition of it as what it really is. And yeah, like there are some people who make um like a few bad apples. Like there are a few feminists that are extremely radical and change and make the movement something that it's not. And as it goes for like everything, like there's always those people that
yeah,
take
yeah,
everything
there's always bad apples.
make it seem like it's something that's not. And that's like really frustrating because like yes, I would say like I'm a feminist. I believe in equality for everyone. And it's when you really just like I don't know, we talked about this a lot at the beginning of like my women's studies class. And I mean I'm kind of forgetting like all the points and everything, but like I don't know, at the end of the day, like we just need to support each other. And I
Yeah,
hate that it's gotten like weirdly like I mean obviously it's political, but I hate that it's
well,
gotten like
it's switched so much, don't you
mhm,
agree? Like it's absolutely swung all the way to the other side when it
but
was supposed to
yeah.
and you know?
There's also different waves of feminism where each wave has focused on something else. And right now I think we're focusing on uplifting like women in their voices and uplifting them for their stories and believing women, believing victims. And like as much as it's like sometimes like people take advantage of those things, but there's always going to be people who take advantage of the systems, and there's always going to be people who take advantage of everything.
Well,
But, like we need to
yeah.
like recognize that like we are still in the feminist movement, as we're still in the civil rights movement, as we're
Yeah.
still in all of these movements, and there's always going to be people who like I don't know, just don't think it's right or take it wrong.
Well,
And
the way I feel like I view it is I wouldn't ever label myself as an anti-feminist because again, I'll reiterate, never get my words twisted. I love women. I think they are the superior gender. And I think women are capable of just as much and even more than men. You know, like I think there is a supreme power there. Don't get me wrong. But I would agree that the movement has kind of gone awry. And I especially think it's gone awry because of politics right now and kind of the liberal reaction to Trump in office. Um, and I think that feminism right now, why it kind of like itches me or like why it kind of like irks me is because I'm inclined to disagree with how much it's hyperbolized, like saying that America is like a full-blown patriarchy or acting as if America is, the two steps away from being the handmaiden's tale. And it's just like I feel like that's exactly how we reacted to Donald Trump and presidency was everything is negative, which kind of drowns out the truly negative things he did. It's like crying wolf. It's like, yeah, he did truly awful things, but by the fact that there was this constant like outpour of like Orange Man bad, the bad things he did actually got buried. Like try to name 10 bad things he's done. They exist, but it's hard to name because it just got drowned out. And I think it goes for feminism as well, where it's like there are things to be like arguing for and like centering yourself on, but they kind of get drowned out because the wrong people are.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point.
And I think it's usually just because the wrong people are the loudest voices in both cases.
Yeah. And it's not even necessarily like the wrong people. I feel like it's the not as informed people because like I'm like myself, I'm guilty of it, like falling into like these stereotypes and like these Instagram posts that I read and being like, oh yeah, like fuck Trump because he said this shit about women, blah 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 blah, But like and I think the same thing happens for like the feminist movement. Like we only read like headlines, and that's the problem is like we only read these headlines and then we like project them onto everything and the actual like
opinion from floor feed.
Yeah, and like it's hard because I want to be educated. I want to feel educated on these things. And I know everyone else does, but when every person who's telling you not to vote for Trump is just using the same shit over and over again, that's not right. You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
It's hard to just an actual argument, which is why I felt kind of frustrated. Don't get me wrong, not because I'm a liberal like conservative, but because I hate seeing people flock to posts on Instagram. It's my number one pet peeve, which I know is just the type of situation where it's like that Tyler the Creator tweet where he's like, just close your eyes, like how cyberbullying real. It's like, how can you be annoyed at something on the internet? Just like close your eyes. That's me right now. I'm acknowledging that it's my fault. But when people post those story posts that are like 10 reasons I hate Trump and you should too, and like, oh, so you want to talk about Donald Trump as president, and it's just like, so not only do you not know enough to type out anything, but I know you didn't read and take in all of this information. I know you didn't fact check it. I know you like don't actually have interest in projecting this to your followers because all your followers are already liberal. Like you're not convincing anybody of anything by like posting those types of things. It's not spreading information. We all know that Trump said grab him by the pussy. Like we all know these things already. What you could do is type out something that's like actual information that nobody knows. Like if that's the hill you want to die on, then die directly. And I feel like that's where I get irked with feminism as well, where it's like, so you want to talk about like why you should never be critical of a woman, and it's just like these things are way more nuanced than we're letting them be. Like it's really not that black and white. Like social media has kind of like warped our view of reality.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, like, for the most part. I mean, I do think, like, I don't know, those textbooks, like, it's hard because we know, like, our generation, like, does not, like, cannot sit down and, like, read a fucking article for their life. Like, there's, like, it's just, like, you know what I mean? Like, the amount of reading we do is so much less than it was before. So people are using these quick ways to get this information. And yeah, like, some of it is wrong and a lot of it is right. And people are just trying to spread awareness, but it's kind of like
I know it's coming from a good place.
It's coming from a good place, but it's also kind of like the message gets like
convoluted.
Yeah, and it's like it's more it's so annoying because it's more of like people are doing this to like make themselves look good, which is annoying, but that's like that's not what I want to talk about. But yeah, and back to kind of what we mentioned earlier, I remember like I was trying to I was asking my dad who he was gonna vote for, and he didn't tell me, which whatever, tell me who you're gonna vote for if you don't want to, but I just didn't want him to vote for Trump. And my mom was like, he didn't say anything, and my mom started yelling at him and was like, "Your silence says more than like blah 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 blah," like kind of just attacking him, like accusing him, and the things that she was using to defend herself about why he shouldn't be voting for Trump were just like the headline,
Right.
like the headlines, and I was like,
You're
sis,
not
I'm like, there are so many reasons, like things that you can be saying now that are progressive, but
right.
instead just like calling him out and like screaming at him, like that's not helping anyone. And I feel like that's something that we're so
It's
quick to
that makes
do.
it something that makes like Biden supporters look so weak because like calling
Also,
like
the same thing goes for Trump supporters too. Like there's
yeah, yeah.
everyone's.
Well, I think there is a lot to be said about like I think there is a lot of like classism as well that was
Yeah.
presented throughout this election, or also like I can't. Oh, wait, here's a controversial opinion. So
Uh-oh.
I'm really gonna fucking get canceled, but um, I think another pet peeve of mine that I was seeing on social media, and I made a post about it, but I deleted it because I was like, social media is corny. I'm not gonna post this. um, but it was just like liberals will encourage everyone to vote, but then get mad when there's a majority that's against them, as if the vote is like as if the vote being not in their favor is proof that everybody but them is stupid rather than it's proof that their methods worked per se, because it's all always about like an ulterior motive. And I think Democrats in this election really proved how sinister they were, like the whole kind of like subtle racism of being like, oh, like if you're a minority and you're voting for Trump, like you must not fucking know your left from right. Like you must not know what's good for you. Like if you're poor and you're voting for Trump, like you literally don't have a brain.
Yeah.
Like all things where it's like, okay, well, how I understand educating people or like providing people with more information if you believe that's the issue, but I don't understand this idea where it's like every both extremes thinking the other extreme is literally stupid.
I
That is
yeah.
going to me where it's like, okay, what if they are like, what if the fucking entire South is stupid? What does that say about our country? It says that we
Exactly.
need to fix education. That's what it says. It doesn't mean anything about their actual.
Exactly. It literally, and that's what my roommate and I were talking about. We were like if the majority of our country is voting red, and I obviously I don't believe in, like, I'm not like a conservative at all, but if the majority of our country is voting red, why should I be here living, like, it says something more about like the people who are living here as opposed to like, oh, we need to make this change one way because it's
Yeah,
like if there's a majority of people who believe in one thing, like cool, then I can leave, like, you know what I mean, like it's not like
yeah. It's the
it's
majority can
hard
push.
it's hard, but like there's this it gets to a certain point where it's like, I don't know,
Well,
politics.
I think another like point that I sorry, I was feeling so many things about this like election that are coming up right now, but I saw so many fucking posts. Maybe I should have just not used social media, but I saw so many posts that had these like sweeping broad statements where it's like, if you voted for the orange man, you're evil. Like, if you voted for this man, you're like xenophobic, you're racist, like you're fucking classist, like you're all of these things, like you're automatically all of these things. You're a fucking bad person. You're a bad person if you voted for Trump, which is so weird to say. It's like you realize that like not everybody is as politically involved. Like that's just not the case. And I don't think every Trump supporter is automatically racist or bad. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I know you know this, but like it's obviously just because people are supporting like racist motives by
well,
voting for him.
what's the most like I know things exist, but at the same time it's like these same people can't name one thing that Trump passed that was actually racist
Yeah.
or that was actually sexist or that actually withheld women or minorities. And they exist, but they can't name them, which
Yeah.
is what gets me the most. It's like, so you read all these headlines and you're defending them with your life. Like you're cutting people out of your life and you're like making all these drastic statements about like the morals of a person that you've never met. and you cannot name fucking 5 things that Trump has done. Like, you just can't. And that's the most ridiculous thing that I find is like how heated we get in defense of things that we aren't truly educated on. You can't be educated if you don't
Yeah.
read. Like,
And I think like also like a lot of things like you don't even need to like dig that deep to realize that like he's not helping anyone. But
that's the thing though, is that it's more nuanced than that though. Like, Trump in the White House was more than him acting just fucking stupid and like annoying, acting like your uncle at Thanksgiving, as I've said a million times. Like, it's more than that, because again, you look through what Trump actually did in his 4 years, and not only was it nothing that crazy from the past 4 presidents we've had, but it's also very strange because he got away with more. Because everyone was busy calling him evil, so we never really realized like the things he did. Like, yeah, you can take his like words and be like, he's bad because of this, but you really have to actually understand what's going on around you. You have to like be critical of the things that are happening and actually judge whether they're good or bad for you and the people around you. You can't like just assume that everything that one person does is evil and that everyone who supports him is evil. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, I just think like if he hasn't done anything in the past 4 years that no one else has like done, or he hasn't done anything that's like really groundbreaking, then it's like then it makes those smaller things like matter even more. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he is like, I mean, I don't know. The fact that he is just fucking dumbass. And like I know like I'm kind of probably contradicting myself, but I'm not saying I like him at all, like or anything, but I just wish that I don't know. It's hard. But I don't know. I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, it's just there's something with our fucking political system and men in power with money that just like that's like the problem with all of this is that our presidents are people who have never experienced anything remotely close to who they're supporting and fighting for. You know what I mean? And
well, I don't know, because I think it does take a certain type of personality to win a presidency, or it takes a certain kind of relatability or unattainability. Sorry, this is like I'm just like spewing random shit right now. Like, I literally have not written anything down, so please don't judge me, challenge. But I feel like true, like America before Trump got us Trump, and people are so eager to return to it and so eager to like not celebrate having Joe Biden in office by having Trump out of it. I understand that. But I think it's very interesting that everybody's feeling relief when it's like, no, this is just the same. Like, people got fed up, and that's what got us like an erratic celebrity as a president. You know, we got what we deserved. We got what we asked for, and we got what our electoral college, which we fucking stand behind, got us. Like, we got exactly what we asked for, and it fucking sucked. And what we have right now fucking sucks.
It sucks literally no matter what.
You know what? Tear it up and start over again.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this literally all just boils down to how fucked up our political system is, and I fucking hate it. I hate our government.
Democracy was not what was meant to happen, because everybody will always encourage, like the left will always encourage everyone to vote, and it's not a matter of everyone voting. It's not a matter of who's voting. Wait, hold on.
Gather your thoughts.
Hold on. It's not a matter of people. Okay, I'll just rephrase it completely. It's always been about who's been allowed to vote, right? So the pool of people in America who have been allowed to vote has obviously expanded with women and African Americans and Native Americans.
Didn't they bring the age down too after women and African Americans and everyone else? And it
E-
wasn't, didn't it used to be 21 and then they brought it down to like 18, like not
yeah, and
long
also
ago?
like not property owners, like regular day farm boys.
Mhm.
Um, and the more people that we've kind of expanded, like America did not really set itself up to like deal with everybody having their voice heard. Not in a way where it's like, oh, it can't work or it's a bad thing, but it's like the electoral college and like how things are set up right now do not serve the people's needs as much as they. So every time people are like, we need to save democracy, it's like, how do you not realize that's our biggest problem?
Yeah.
It's already failed. It's failed you, it's failed me, it's failed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why we are still stuck on this idea where it's like, oh, I hate everything about this system, so I'm going to work within it to try to defeat parts within it. And it's like, don't you realize this isn't the only thing that does exist? Like, democracy answer.
I saw this post and it was like, America's what, like 200. Wait, how old is America? Hold on.
It's over 200.
America. Wait, I just want to get this right. How old is America?
Like 215 or something.
200. Okay, 244. So it was like America is like not even 250 years old. Like there have been bigger empires that have fallen. There have been empires that have been along for way longer than us that have fallen. And it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if this shit like comes crumbling down like within the next like 100 years, because like, and it wouldn't even be like that of a surprise. Like the thing is about like history is that we think that it is so in the past and that things that have like that we're taught about never are happening. They aren't happening in real time. But if, like honestly, like I said earlier, like the civil rights movement is still happening. That should never ended. Feminism is still happening. That should never ended.
We don't realize we're not out of the woods. We're in them.
We're literally still like going through like all that shit that the Roman Empire went through, just in another time. Like it's literally like, oh my god,
I'm low-key looking out for the mark of the beast.
The what?
The mark of the beast.
What's that?
A little religious context there. Apparently that's the sign of end times, is there will be a lot of damage to our planet. I'm definitely misquoting, and then there's going to be somebody who makes everybody wear a certain mark. I'm definitely misquoting. I'm not going to keep talking.
It's the idea.
It's like, I feel like it's very, very, it makes sense that we defend democracy so much because we grew up kind of like admiring it, and people who are like, I hate America, like still defend democracy. And it's like, democracy is what you hate about America. I don't think you realize, because truly your government should work without you having to think about it. Your children should not be politically active. Like it shouldn't be a big deal. Like people bash all of these foreign countries. Like America will be the first to be like, everything but democracy is disgusting. Like the way, not saying these things are good, but like the way like Eastern Asia runs, you know, like the way that like Europe runs even. It's like we kind of like turn our noses down and we're like, yeah, but we're so free and all of our voices are heard.
The nationalism is literally terrifying.
And it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and it
because then people jump to communism. Oh, wait.
Don't get me started.
I think I talked about it in the last podcast, but I'll bring it up fucking again. If you unironically think that communism is a solution, you need to read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. If it's the fucking Communist Manifesto, good, finish it. Because you won't be convinced that it's the right answer once you fucking finish it. Like, dumbasses. Pick a better aesthetic.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Like, the sense of pride just, like, that comes with, like, our country and, like, nationalism and all this shit. Like, it's just... It's like... It's just rotting your brain. Like, it clouds everything, and it doesn't... Like, why are we taught that... why are we taught in elementary school that democracy is good? You know what I mean?
Why are we taught that we, like... Okay. And I don't agree with democracy, but the idea that, like, we, like, blessed the Vietnamese with democracy.
Yeah,
or, like, straight up. We were like, fighting a good fight. And it's like, dude, what were we doing there? Like, tell me what we were actually doing in Vietnam.
Like, no reason.
and it's like, yeah, I get commies are evil, I get that, but I also don't understand like this like imperialistic idea where America became weak once it stretched itself out. Like we got a little too ambitious too early. Like we were like, yo, this democracy shit is awesome. Like we're gonna spread it all over the world and we're gonna like set up 700 bases abroad and we're gonna feel really good about it. And it's like once we get to this point and we're like, we have so much less power than we did 10 years ago. It's like how
Yeah,
did this
it's
even
just
happen
there's so much to like I don't
to
know.
unpack?
I just can't even like think about it anymore. I'm just like fuck the government.
Fuck the government. But I will say that like people who align with communism or people who are like anti-government, like or anarchists, like self-proclaimed, like fuck the government, like this and this and this, are anarchists love rules, bro. Like people who want to live in a little commune and like walk around barefoot, those bitches love rules. Like they love censorship, they love rules.
I
Like
love to break them. Yeah.
be wary of people who say there's no rules. I just like there's I'll say it. I'll fucking say it. I'll come out on this pod and say that I wish we lived under a patriarchy. Not a patriarchy. I wish we had a royalty in America.
So like a monarchy?
Yeah.
Well, not a patriarchy.
No, yeah, I'll have a matriarchy.
Wait, what's wait. Okay, never mind. I was like, you want a patriarchy, bitch? What?
Patriarchy is just like men.
Yeah.
Monarchy is men with a crown. And
Wait, monarchy is men with a crown?
Yeah. And then matriarchy is women with a crown.
Oh, is there one that's just men and women with a crown?
Oligarchy?
Oh, let me see.
Let me look it up.
I just would rather have wait. A small group of people having the English aristocrat oligarchy of the 19th century. Isn't England an oligarchy?
No.
Wait,
England right now is a matriarchy.
Oh.
Well, no. It's a monarchy, but Queen Elizabeth has been like
there for a while.
There for fucking ever. And also that's a symbol. The parliament is really in charge.
Oh yeah.
Which makes it just a regular government. I would be okay with an oligarchy because I think the founding fathers, as Ben pointed out to me the other day, you know how the story of like when George Washington was president, everybody was like, yo, like stay another 4 years. This guy, not 4 years, like keep your seat. Like we love you here. You should be our king. And he was like, no,
I hate it here. He was like, I hate it here.
Like, I can't see you. Sorry. He's like, I got somewhere to be. I gotta fucking go dust my wig. Sorry. And he got out of there. But America wanted like an oligarchy, or they wanted a king. Like we don't want to be thinking about politics. I don't personally want to have to worry. I don't want it to be a case where it's like my future hangs on like an election, or like my future hangs on like what candidates in office. It should never be at that point. Like it should always be like the policy changes are just so minuscule that we're bored by it.
Mm-hmm.
It should just be like, who's gonna pave more roads? You know, like it shouldn't be who's gonna repeal Roe v. Wade.
Yeah. For real, straight up.
So when I say like, I don't know, I feel like some of my controversial opinions could be convoluted by listeners, but I want y'all to know I don't hate women. I do hate democracy and communism.
Yeah. It's
I do hate voting. I think it's fucking stupid that we have to do it.
I think ranked choice voting is a step in the right direction, but
wait, what did you say?
Ranked choice voting.
Oh, explore that idea more.
Oh, I'm not too
Don't do
into propaganda, but just
no,
I think it's
we're
cool.
not educated on anything. Don't
What'd you
worry.
say?
We're not educated on anything. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Nobody's taking advice from us. Nobody's listening right now. If you're
okay,
listening, comment
true.
cat emoji.
Cat emoji. Okay. I just like the idea of being able to rank who you want to be in office as opposed to a definite, I want this and that's it. I think it provides more like intel, I think, on where people lie in their thoughts and opinions. And although it still is, a very democratic process, it makes
Yeah.
it a little more humane, I feel like, and more like, I don't know. I
Do
just
you? How would you feel about voting that is open to everyone, who can pass like the citizenship test for America? Because I don't think most American citizens know enough about the U.S. government. I'm talking about just like your regular, like white Massachusetts American. Like, I don't think most people could pass a citizenship test. Like, I
I don't
don't think.
know either. I watched a video and it was like we asked American citizens like questions on the citizen test and they were like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, exactly. But everybody who like wants to become a citizen has to know more about America. I think we should do something like that so we have proof that people really know what they're voting for.
Yeah, that's actually interesting.
I think that's an interesting concept to throw around. It's not the hill I'm gonna die on, don't worry.
Yeah.
But not like I have any control, but I at my last high school before I moved to Massachusetts, I think for one history class I would have been required to take a citizenship test to pass it, which I thought was a really cool idea.
Really cool. Yeah.
Because
I
I
I mean, I'm like ashamed to not be able to pass a test. If I don't know if I would be able to, maybe I would, but like if I wasn't, like that'd be so embarrassing. Like, you know what I mean?
I definitely would.
I
Here's
don't think
why.
either.
I don't care. I don't care about the way the government is. I know the things that I do, and they make me angry. And I wish they were different. And the more I learn, the more I dislike. And I don't want to have to think about these things. I just want them to work.
Yeah. It's
So
hard.
I'll keep thinking about them until they work, but I hate it, and I wish I didn't have to. And I'm sure many people are in the same boat. Like, we don't love our right to vote. We love our right to make things normal.
Hmm.
Like, nobody loves going out and having to vote. Like, and
Yeah,
like exercising their voice. It's like if it didn't matter that your voice was heard, like if it was gonna be a good choice no matter what, or if it was gonna like be fine no matter what, then nobody would vote. Like,
yeah.
there's no way this election got the most votes ever out of any election, and it's not just because of um every fucking Gen X or Gen Z or whatever
Yeah.
movie, but it's because everybody actually cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you want to move on to another thing, or do you want to wrap it up? I'm not sure how long we've been going on, but I'm kind of tired.
I'm kind of tired. I think we should talk a little about how we're doing academically right now.
Okay.
Personally, fucking shit. um, I love my architecture class. All my other classes aren't real. They're not good. I'm going. All my teachers. Some of my teachers are good. Some of my teachers suck. But architecture is awesome, and I love it. How are you doing?
Yay. Um, all my classes are pretty basic music classes. Like I already know a lot of what we're learning. It's a nice review. Well, just because I have to go back and take like.
Oh, this is a nice time for me to catch up. Catch up on what things I already know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like a nice transition into college life. And then guitar is going well. That's the other big part of my learning is my instrument. So uh, going good, I'd say. I mean,
When's the next EP dropping?
what?
When's the next EP dropping?
Um,
When's Albie coming out?
having extreme writer's block in college. So, but I'm thinking this quarantine might help me out.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
haven't been able to
time
start
alone is
playing.
really what you need because I feel like it would be hard to write music with a roommate.
Yes, it's literally so hard. Every time I sit down, like she just walks in, I'm like, shit. I'm like, fuck, I can't be vulnerable right now. But
You're like, I hate my roommate, and I miss you.
you do it.
I hate my roommate. She's wearing this ugly fucking shirt. Do you think that should be a B minor or no? I can't imagine. I've been having really strong urges to like. I wish I had a little electric guitar to fiddle around with more often, but I just fiddle around. But I want to write a song by
Do it.
2021,
Do it.
and then I'm gonna animate to it.
Okay.
Okay. Look,
Okay.
the things I can do, which are actually limited. Um, yeah. Okay. Submit to my magazine, everyone. That's about all I have to say.
Yeah.
I'm about ready to wrap up.
All right, me too. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We love our fans. We'd be nowhere without you guys. We'd be dead in the bottom of a fucking ditch without you. So like the video, send it to 10 of your closest friends, or we will show up at the end of your bed tonight.
And if you watch this far, comment a strawberry emoji.
Comment strawberry emoji and then say your social security number.
Perfect.
So we know that you watched the video.
And so we know that you are a loving American citizen.
Comment if you love democracy. Comment if you really hate democracy.
And give a thumbs up if you really hated
democracy. Give a thumbs up if you didn't vote.
Shut up.
Okay. Again?
Bye.